Auburn basketball handles Kent State 79 to 56. Let's talk about it. What is up, Uptempo family? What is up, Auburn family? I'm your host, Blake Lane, here tonight to talk some Auburn basketball. Big time win over Kent State this week, 79 to 56. And boy, what a showing it was for the Auburn Tigers. You know, everything that happened last week with the plane incident, you go out to Houston, you win a tough game against the number 4 team in the country and the Houston Cougars, who have a Hall of Fame head coach in Kelvin Sampson. And they've won big time tournament games and made deep runs. And they've been a consistent program at the top of the country ever since he's been there. So, and we know the history of Houston basketball. So, yeah, I think that was a big time showcase win for the Auburn Tigers. And you faced a little adversity from the national media, and they tried to run with that story and all that stuff. So, a huge showing. And then you come back home this week. You got a midweeker against a good Kent State team, a team that was 2-0, and a team that had some shooters, and a team that had some guys that could get open and make tough contested shots. So I was pleased with this outcome. One thing I will say is you come out and you get going early with CBM and Johni, and Denver had a nice little layup there early, and you get up 10 to nothing, and you're cruising, you're giving the ball to Johni, you're getting buckets. Chaney Johnson come in. I thought he has played really well early this season. The transformation of his game from last year to this year has just been another level, right? This is a guy that played D2 basketball, and some were saying that they didn't know if he could transition to this level. And I think it's a great find from Bruce Pearl and this staff for Chaney Johnson to come to Auburn and really turn his game up and get going. He is a difference maker on this team, y'all. His ability to get it going inside and also now be able to step outside and hit the tray. I think he has a nice little mid-range game as well. I think he has transitioned very nicely into Division One Power Four SEC basketball play. I think he's a huge part. The big dunks, the Showtime dunks. I wish he could have nailed that one Friday night in Houston, but the one he put home against Kent State was really nice. But you get up to a 30-8 lead in the first half. There was about 8 and some change left in the first half, and this is kind of where I've seen a couple people on Twitter say that they weren't pleased with how Auburn let Kent State get back into the game, and there was too much showboating and too much trash talking and all of this stuff. My thing with the whole run that Kent State went on over about a 6-minute span, Auburn did not score. Auburn did not score. So in that span, yes, there was trash talking. Yes, there was showboating and all that stuff. But it all come down to shot selection. Shot selection. Auburn got up big against a good Kent State team, and they turned into from team basketball to ISO basketball. It turned into a bunch of clear out, one-on-one. Let's see if I can hit a shot or go to the bucket and make a tough contested layup. And the shots weren't falling. So Kent State, they found their guy, and he started hitting shots. He made contested shots, step back threes. He got hot and he caught a rhythm. And so I think when Auburn realizes, hey, things are starting to tighten up a little bit, let's go into number 4 in Johni Broome. I thought Johni had, I thought Johni had a great game. He was 8 of 12 and had 18 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists. So I thought Johni has played excellent, up for player of the year, honestly. And that's nationwide. That's not just in the SEC, right? Big time for this program to get him back, and Bruce Pearl to just elevate his draft stock. Put him at the 4 in the starting lineup, and you got Dylan at the 5, and so that's probably where Johni needs to be if he's going to move on to the NBA. But starting the second half, I think it was Pegues who had the technical with the elbow at the end of the first half on that last second shot, right? So that kind of kick-started the end of a bad first half, and then they get a technical free throw. They get, the 2 technical free throws, all that, and then they hit a 3. So that's a 5-point swing right out the gate, and the lead cut down to 4. So, yeah, like I can see where a bunch of Auburn fans were upset that, oh, you were up by 22 and you let the lead dwindle down to 4, but don't get things twisted, okay? This Auburn basketball team has multiple shooters on it this year. You got Tahad, you got Miles Kelly, Denver Jones can get going at any time. There is guys on this team that can shoot it. So, you're not hoping and praying. I made this point on the War Report the other night after the post game, because you're not hoping and praying that one person can go off, y'all. Even Chaney can step behind the arc and knock down a tray. Even Johni, even though he didn't hit one in this game, he can still step behind the arc and hit a tray. So you got CBM. I think CBM is really dangerous in the mid range, but he can also step behind the arc and hit a tray. There's multiple guys on this team that can shoot out of a cold night. And Auburn went cold because they got out of their game and they went to ISO basketball. But then when things got tight, we were never worried, right? You were never worried that Auburn was going to blow this basketball game because the defense is too good. Denver Jones is too good. Johni Broome's too good. Dylan Cardwell is too good. This Auburn team has length at guard this year. Like, they're not going to lose this type of game, not at home. So you were never really worried. And then Tahad, he had a couple nice shots. I know he didn't shoot it well from 3, but in the second half, he made some big time plays. There was a pass from Tahad that was just no look. As soon as he dished it, he immediately pointed to the crowd and said, "Hey, this kid is on another level," right? This kid is not only a great facilitator, but he's a shot maker. He can create his own shot, and he gives elite effort on the defensive end to be a 6'1" guard. You guys know how much I preach 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" guards. But Tahad, he's a guy. And I think you better enjoy the 1 year that you have of him, because he's probably going to move on to the NBA. Miles Kelly, the transfer guard, 6'6". Great defensively. I thought he's done a dang good job on the defensive end, especially on nights like Kent State where he didn't shoot it well. He didn't have it going. So give everything you got on the defensive end. That is why Auburn is not going to lose basketball games like this at home. When they get tight, they know they can force feed 4. Or you can go to Chaney. You can also hit the tray. There's multiple options on this Auburn basketball team. That's what makes it so fun. I'll tell you another thing that I think plays well for Auburn basketball, and that is the veteran leadership. I think the veteran leadership on this team is something that is going to play in March. I think you have guys that have played NCAA tournament games. You have got guys on this team from last year who felt the pain of losing to Yale in that first round March Madness game. I think that weighs heavy on them. I think they remember that feeling. I can remember Denver Jones just looking devastated last year after losing that game. So I think that is another thing that plays into your favor. Like Pegues, look, I'm not asking JP Pegues to go light it up from the field. I'm asking JP Pegues to give me solid minutes, not to turn the ball over, and just steer the Lamborghini. Just steer the Lamborghini. That's all you got to do. Don't wreck it. Don't take it off road, brother. Play solid defense, create turnovers, Don't turn the ball over. Get us in the right play and facilitate it. That's all I'm asking. I don't need you to light it up. He can shoot it. He can shoot it. I'm not saying he can't, but I don't. It's like the SEMO thing. I don't need you to be the focal point. I just need you to be the facilitator because there's other guys on this team who can get it going, who can shoot it. And I think JP Big East has done a great job with that this year. I like him on the court. I think he's played really well. Look, I look over some of the stats. Auburn shot 49% from the field. They were 6 of 24 from three. And some of that was jacking up trays in that little run where Kent State had, where it was a lot of ISO ball, and Auburn just kind of had poor shot selection, in my opinion. And then from the free throw line, they were 17 of 22. Hey, 77%. That's better. That's better. And you showed me something Friday night out in Houston, knocking them down from the charity stripe in clutch time. So I was proud of that. Auburn wins the rebounding battle 41-33. I know our big guys down in there, they were battling all night, had a little size advantage over Kent State, but played well off the glass. 23 assists for the Auburn Tigers. That's something that you love to see. It goes back to me saying, hey, JP Big East, I just need you to facilitate it, big dog. Just get it out. Tahad. All right, shot maker, but it can be a facilitator as well. Steals 3, blocks. They had 6 blocks. Another thing, man. Hey, you got to come to the rim strong on Auburn. You got Johni down there, Chaney down there, Dylan down there. These guys, they're lengthy this year. I'm telling you, it's fun. They're not getting beat at the guard position as much as years past either. So fast break points 12. Auburn loves to get out in transition. They love to run. Points in the paint 42-26. That's the big one for me. That's the one I was looking for. Auburn just dominant in the paint. Janai, like I said earlier, I think he's up for best player in the country right now. So huge leadership, huge to come back. And big shout out to Auburn for making that happen, whatever they had to do with NIL or whatever. It's definitely been a big plus. Big thing for me, I want to point this out. Fouls, okay? Auburn did not have a lot of fouls. They only fouled 12 times. That's great defense. Don't have cheesy fouls. I thought Auburn played really, really well defensively. And Kent State, hey, give them their flowers, man. They hit some tough shots all night. Like some of those shots were not easy. They were hitting step back threes from a pretty good ways out a couple of times. So give them dudes, they could shoot it a little bit, and they had some playmakers who could cut through the defense and make some plays, and had some tough baskets at the rim. So Kent State's a good team, man. They really are, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the dance. Largest lead, like I talked about, the big lead at the beginning of the first half, and you let Kent State get back into it. I talked about it, and I don't think you're going to see that a whole lot from Auburn this year. They just got out of their game. That's it. That's really the whole talking point of this episode is they got out of their game, and you let a good team sneak back into it, and you picked yourself back up. Bruce got them over there and said, hey, look, this isn't how it's going to go. Let's get back into our stuff. Let's run our offense, feed our best player, and we'll walk away with this one. And then you ended up covering the spread. So some people got it at 22 and a half. I know some people got it at 21. I bought it down to 18 and a half. So, it's Auburn's hot right now. They're covering, and what do we say? Good teams win, great teams cover. So, no basketball game this week. We'll be back next week. Big time matchups, man, coming up. Big time matchups. This Auburn team is going to face an absolute gauntlet of a schedule. So strap up, buckle up, get ready, because we're about to get in the kitchen and it's hot, baby. So, hey, look, thank y'all. War Damn Eagle. Have a great weekend, great Friday. Love y'all. Catch y'all on the next one. I'm out.